So, ScoobysBooty, why don't you take it away for us?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, so this is Kids Next Door. This is like the one console game that they did make for the show. I think there was like 2 Game Boy games for it and a handful of Flash stuff, but this is really what I like. This game just really involves a bunch of wall clips, pause, jumps, optimized movement. Steb, do you have anything to add to that before we get started?
No, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I used to be pretty much the main runner of this game many years ago, back in like the Eisenhower administration.
Yeah, I actually learned the game from Seb. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you. Go ahead.
No. The sentence was sort of trailing off. By all means, continue.
So this is the any percent no auto scroll category. It's pretty self-explanatory. 3 times during this run, you're going to see me pause and quit out of the level. So don't panic. We're not restarting the run. We're just going to skip over one and keep going. As you can see, we're on an already finished save file here. But I believe we're ready to get started. Are you ready, Stub?
I should be ready, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to hit time in 3, 2, 1, and go.
Oh.
So the tutorial's pretty easy. We're just gonna get some shots off, get a power shot, and go barrel stuff them.
Real quick, if I may, are you going to be streaming the game over Discord? Because I'm watching the Twitch and it's a couple of seconds behind.
Oh, yes, I can do that in just a moment. Sorry about that.
I promise. Sorry to spring that on you. It only just occurred to me.
No worries.
You don't have a chance against my toilet paper grenades, number one!
So this is just trying to get shots in as quickly as possible. There is a rhythm to shooting, like you saw right there. I kind of missed a shot, so one didn't come out.
Mustard?
Position yourself right here, and a little glitch should happen, which it did, where the boss health bar spawns in with a little less health, and we can kill him 1 power shot quicker.
I really can't wait to face some better,
I believe what's happening there is 1 projectile hits to complete the power shot tutorial, and then it tries loading in the, okay, now you have to fight the boss to finish the tutorial bit, but the 2 other projectiles are still there. They hit him a little bit later, and so the health bar starts lower than it ought to.
Yeah, yep. Share screen.
And now we go into the first, like, proper level of the run. There we go.
Sorry, it's a little messy. I was just trying to find something, and the application wasn't popping up, so you got my whole screen.
I'm glad number 2.
It's okay. These things happen. So yeah, here we go into Donutty, and one of the first real tricks of the run you're going to be seeing in there, we just, by holding the aim button and running at sort of a 45-ish degree angle, we, for some reason it makes cutscene triggers just not happen. There's supposed to be a big, like, ooh, look at this big room cutscene, but we just avoided it. And then we just sort of walked into a corner and went through a wall. There's supposed to be a tutorial for number 1's grappling hook move there in that room after you take care of a bunch of enemies, but you can just kind of zhuzh yourself into a corner and eventually the game will go, alright, fair dues, big man, and let you in.
These donuts are a whole story of their own, too. I'd love to get into it, but we are already by them. Their hitboxes are terrible.
You already by them?
So we need to completely stop moving.
And we are about to go into the first funny acronym I have of the run. Kids Next Door, Moon Jump. Many obstacles obviously necessitating jumps utterly, magnificently past.
So, for those who don't know the show, every little power-up and gadget that they have has acronyms to it, so Steb lovingly crafts names for all of our skips. And this is what we call the moon bounce because the fan is blowing underneath us, but since we clipped out of bounds there, and we didn't hit a checkpoint, we keep the fan blowing underneath us effect throughout these tunnels.
So despite the fact that there's supposed to be, like, flowing slop along the ground that will impede our movement, we can just jump and be on the ceiling the whole time, and it's fine. But then the next time we hit this switch, the game's going to remember, oh right, we're not in the room with the big fan anymore, and it's...
That will be right here.
Oh, yep, we hit the checkpoint and the game remembers where we are. So now we're going to have to use a lot of lock-on strafe jumps as our primary source of movement. Depending on where enemies are, you're either going to be doing backflips or side flips.
And then you try to fit in as many little ones as you can, like right there.
Yeah. Oh, and just to explain the wall clip that we did to actually make it here, there are a lot of out-of-bounds tricks in this game that basically just amount to you stand in a wall and the game lets you have it. You can stand about 15 to 20% of the way inside a lot of walls in this game, and sometimes that lets you actually do something useful.
Sorry, ladies, kitchen's closed.
Not necessarily all of the time, but in a lot of cases.
So this is the first boss fight. The boss name is Chunk Wagon. I just thought I'd leave that there for you guys, because it's my favorite.
They used to call me the Chunk Wagon back in college.
So this is kind of a boring boss fight, to be honest with you. There's a couple of fun moments, but we're kind of just going to stand at this lever and wait until these cutscenes play out. I'm going to spam circle right about at the end of this cutscene so I can hit the lever as quickly as possible, but it's mostly those strafe jumps that Step just mentioned. We're going to do some backflips, some side flips, get to another lever, and then if you notice, there's another one right there on the side of that pink jelly machine. That's going to be the final one that we pull, and then we can actually damage the boss. So we're going to start with 3 backflips, and 3 side flips, and we're here.
Yeah, in essence, this fight is a matter of movement. It's all about planning your movements out so that whenever mobs start spawning in, your lock-on doesn't change and doesn't change the orientation of where you're moving relative to them. Like, for example, if you're just held L1 down to strafe and you're locked onto nothing, if an enemy appears in your periphery, the game might suddenly go, oh, you're locked on here, and suddenly your side strafe is going what used to be backwards. It's disorienting in the moment if you're not really very familiar with this game, but you can get used to it relatively quick if you just plan your movements out ahead of time.
Yeah, so there's a lot of, like, needing to know where the enemies spawn in this area, and, like, there's a very, very small amount of, like, manipulation that you can do in terms of, like, where the enemy will be when you pull the second lever here. I'll see if I can point it out, but, like, you kind of just briefly walk a little bit before flipping. Like, right here, if you do that, see, he kind of just did this weird little loop, and now he's directly behind me, so I can just keep holding my back foot. And we're right in line. That was perfect. I'm glad that happened the way I wanted it to. I'm going to take this really weird route here, because if you've noticed, there's a bajillion more enemies this time around than before. And now I gotta make a dead sprint over here. I got hit a second or two off of that, but that's okay. We're still in pretty good time territory here. Very good, actually. Yeah, only lost about a second and a half on that.
Good stuff. This all seems relatively clean so far.
Yeah, it is. You know, we got here with, like, almost 0 time loss through the tunnels, so all the time losses just come on minor mistakes that during this boss fight right here.
But yeah, nothing has happened that... Oh, sorry, go on.
Sorry, I was just going to say, you want to start setting up boogification because we're coming to the end
Oh,
of the
yes.
boss fight.
So, this first level has, like, a couple of things going on, but not really that much in the grand scheme of things. But the next level, basically what you're about to see is a precise... at the very start of the next level, a precise jump to get on top of some walls that would otherwise wall you into a tutorial area. Then you are going to see 2 cutscene trigger skips in quick succession. Then you're going to see a pause jump, and then you're going to see a wall clip, which ultimately makes for about 8 minutes of video game played in about 45 seconds.
It's awesome. It's awesome. When I got into this game...
We're not going to have time to explain everything as it's happening, so there you go.
When I got into this game and learned that what I just did, what you just saw me jumping on top of that weird-ass platform, that saves so much time, pain, sweat, tears, and blood.
That's supposed to be... Oh, okay, we made it up. I was worried you took, like, 1 too many hits there, but yeah, basically, that wall that we jumped on is supposed to, like, lock you into a maze that tutorializes you on how to play as number 5 and how she differs from number 1. But you can...
Cutscene skip, let's go.
I think... Yo, that's actually a really irritating cutscene skip relative to some of the others. Here we're going to pause so the game thinks that we're grounded and we can do an additional double jump. And then, like with the moon jump, we're just going to sort of insist our way into that wall, and the game's going to let us get away with it.
Victory music.
That's about 3/4 of this level that is supposed to last about as long as the previous one, but no, it doesn't. Because we say so. That skip at the start with the maze area, I only found that. I don't know how my brain worked like this, but I went to bed one day after practicing, and then I'd been in bed for like 5 minutes, I suddenly went, wait, can you just jump on top of that? And I had to get out of bed, turn my computer back on, boot the emulator back up, and test it out, and it worked. It just worked the whole time, and it never occurred to me to try it.
It came to you.
So now just... Literally, it was revealed to me in a vision, by the grace of God. So now we're just going to sort of take out... We're just going to take out these enemies, and then hit the switch, and then that's going to be the end of the level. And here we are going to see why this category is called No Auto-Scrollers, because after this, we are supposed to get into, like, a 10-minute long shmup level, which has some tech and skips of its own. I've played this level plenty of times. But, basically, we just think the run would be a lot more fun and interesting both to play and watch if we didn't do those levels, so we're not going to. We're just going to go to the next level.
And just to put it into perspective for you, the last 3 levels, this game is run on in-game time. We're still going to be within the hour estimate, but the world record is like a 48:10 in-game time. So those little end-game screens that pop up with the time there very, very quickly, I'm typing those into my live split, and it's adding them up as we go. The first 3 levels, we made it through sub-9. 8 minutes and 54 seconds. That shmup level would have doubled the playtime.
Absurd.
Absolutely absurd. Get this beat 'em up section by just doing a little double jump attack on that bus arm.
This level is basically a long series of clips to get through assorted rooms, because this game has a very strange quirk where if you leave enemies alive and go ahead into the next area, only so many enemies can be spawned in at one time. So if you don't take out the previous enemies, then the next enemies that you need to kill to open a door simply won't spawn. Like, there's supposed to be 5 or 6 robots in this, like, wave here, but there's only one, so normally we can't open this door. So what we're going to do here is basically try and damage boost off this robot to get an extra double jump, and then clip through that wall, which Scooty has done there lovely. But then we have the much more annoying version to get through this door up ahead, in which we are going to have to implement its next door, Toe Clipper. Total onslaught of enemies crushed. Line up in post presents external route. Which basically means we are going to jam our toe into one of these, like, wooden posts here, and if we line it up just precisely enough, this is an incredibly annoying trick, then we will be able to hopefully get out of bounds and past this door that won't open.
This trick is absolutely the run killer. Right now I'm looking for a very specific texture setup, and I'm going to, you can't see my controller input, mash to the right, and I think I might have lost the setup, but yeah, I think I did. It's so pixel perfect. It's very annoying.
If we do it right, then number 4's, like, right shoe will just barely... There we go! We
gotta run. We gotta run in a marathon setting.
This is exactly what you want to see. When we were, like, hashing out, like, the sort of commentary dynamic for this run, Scooby was telling me, like, basically be ready to fill dead air in case I take, like, 5 minutes to hit that trick.
Yep.
And now this door as well is supposed to be locked behind, like, 2 or 3 mini-bosses, for which we'll be implementing Kids Next Door, Vampire, very aggravating mini-bosses past, implementing unreliable hole. I named it that because the version of this trick I used to do was a lot less consistent than the version Scooby did just there.
I've been hearing all of these for the first time, and I'm blown away. I don't know how you do it. You're so good at it.
If there's one thing I'm good at, it's yapping.
Alliteration.
So now,
and yapping.
And now for Vampire number 1, what we're going to be doing here is there's a quirk of the melee characters, numbers 4 and 5, where if you stand like at the sides of the hitboxes and do charge attacks, then for some reason you can hit them multiple times with the same attack. I don't know why this happens, but it works.
Okay, little disclaimer. Mom, if you're watching, this is the level I was talking about.
Okay.
So
the setup of this level is basically that the power to the treehouse has run out, and all of the power is generated by like a quadrillion hamsters running on hamster wheels. So now we have to go jumping around and pick up all the hamsters. There is a trick we used to do in this level where, by going out of bounds and flying to a level near the end, you can't actually skip anything that way, but what you can do is get an early weapon that lets you freeze the hamsters in place when they try to run away, and then you have to sort of death warp back to the start of the level. And it is very, very slightly slower than just learning to corral the hamster AI, which irritates me so much because it's so much easier to do.
it's terrible. I like actually hate this level. You can get it down kind of
It's such a cool trick as well.
It's so cool, yeah. Like the out of bounds has this weird, like, I call it a space texture because it's just a black abyss with like speckles of white, like light just poking through. It looks so cool. It just looks like you're going through like a hyperspace tunnel or something.
Like a planetarium. If you've ever been to visit like a planetarium on a school trip.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
Well, I'm pretty sure it's just the skybox, because like if you look outside through the windows, this level does take place at night.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, I did just notice that. It does kind of look very similar to it, but just blue or like periwinkle, whatever color that is. So here we're going to do a really weird manipulation where we throw all of the hamsters into the front left of the stairs, backflip, because for some reason doing that de-aggroes them. Then we walk up here, aggro them again, and they all get stuck.
They just all decide, oh, I want to be in this corner.
And that's it, like, way faster than any other strats we've found. That's basically how you do this level, is corral strats. So this room I hate, because you have to...
Another important thing for some corral strats is that basically, when the hamsters aren't aggroed onto you, they only start being aggroed onto you when you approach the floor near them. So if you want to, you can... Number 3 has like a glide move, so you can sort of gently float down towards them and they won't become aggroed until you're right on top of them. That was what I used to have to do a lot before, because I didn't know how to do any of this stuff back when I ran the game, because I didn't need to. I had a freeze ray.
Thankfully... Okay, we're just gonna push all of them up here. Fun to
I'd be lying if I said I knew how that worked.
That one, you just kind of hope that they all run at that second bounce pad, because if they run past it, they go down this forever hallway, which we're about to use a death warp to escape. These two hamsters don't aggro on you right away, so you can just collect them quick.
There's a glide strat.
Yeah, there was the glide strat. That's like the one that's actually implemented into the route.
And now we have the much vaunted freeze gun. So pretty much no more corral strats will be necessary, except for maybe the final room, because we can just freeze the hamsters in place and then go grab them.
Unfortunately, we did have to go to the end of the room here, but it's still not bad. Oh, I see one. It's so far off.
The long walk of shame.
And electric. Yeah.
The annoying thing about number 3 is that her strafe jumping, unless you're doing strictly backflips, isn't really faster, because her 2 levels basically don't have a lot of combat in them, so she doesn't need to be able to quick dodge. So instead, whenever she side jumps, she does like a pirouette, which is a lovely bit of like flavorful in-character animation, but when you're trying to go fast, it's very irritating.
And I'd show that off, but I got the gun, so now I kind of have these normal dodge rolls. But Unfortunately,
Yeah,
that's
it's
the
mostly irritate.
Is backflips.
Yeah, it mostly really comes up in like her second level, where it takes you until like the end of the level to get her gun. There we just saw the freeze attack with the super attack rather with the freeze ray. By the way, you've been seeing like a couple of these, especially with the melee characters. But the blue meter at the side, that's a super meter. If you press R1 and the fire button, then you do like a charge up like a type move. Technical commentary we've got going on here. You're going to be seeing it a lot more when we take control of number 1 again in the next level, because there's some really cool things you can do with his laser weapon and the because it's a continuous beam. There's some really cool things you can do with the super attack on that.
Very cheesy.
Do you mind if I jump in for a second?
Absolutely. We got a little bit of downtime.
Okay. Just want to say thank you to Hudson Abdir for $25 donated. Appreciate all the donations. Make sure to go check out those! Donate. Back to you.
I know who that is. Thanks, bud.
Isn't it?
Ooh, we got a cutscene skip that's huge.
Nice.
Very big. So if you don't,
This has been a good run so far.
it's a good run. I'm telling you, the no resets this morning really set me on a path, man. So we haven't really discussed like the importance of some of these, but that cutscene skip is absolutely imperative. The hamsters in this level spawn as soon as the door is open, and the cycles get thrown off by about 15 seconds if you don't hit that cutscene skip. And hopefully they're gonna come to me now. There's one. I think I can shoot one over here. Should be fine. I might be able to get an extra one if I land on top of both. I did.
Nice.
So I don't know what's going on right now, but what you're about to see is I'm gonna fly on top of that big wooden thing there, and like 10 of them right now are grouping with each other, and when I get up there, they're all just gonna fly to me. I don't know how to describe it other than that.
Scooping them up into your arms. Hello, my little friends!
So they're just all gonna fly right here. Oh, there they all are!
Yeah!
22 out of 25, so we just got 7 hamsters up there.
And there's a couple more down here. And
oh,
one more. Oh,
okay.
There we go. Salvaged it.
Yeah, 725 is really good. That cutscene skip really saves all the corral stupidness that we encountered earlier in that. We're doing good. This is a good run. This is a really good run.
Now we're going into Spankerific. The second level themed after. I'm amazed this was a character that they got away with putting in the show. The vampire who turns children into vampires by beating them?
Yeah, this
Question mark?
This is a product of its time. I'll just say that. It's a product
I
of its time.
will say the show at least seems aware that this is messed up, because this is like the one villain in the show who like doesn't just get beaten, but goes to whole-ass jail multiple times. Like, at least 1 or 2 episodes start with, like, them being like, dude, you hit a fucking child, go to jail.
So funny. Do you know if there's a place, a streaming platform that hosts Kids Next Door these days?
I don't know. I think it either still is, or it might have once been on, like, HBO Max. I know they used to have a lot of Cartoon Network stuff. I have, like, a crusty torrent of the entire show lying around somewhere. I don't know if I might have deleted it at some point to free up space. But it's with I have never seen the projectile do that. This specific section is a little bit RNG, because the super projectile for that weapon, the whole gimmick is it bounces around. So to take out that big enemy in a quick amount of time, you have to hope that you get lucky with the bounces, and sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It's not that much of a time loss if you get bad RNG. It's just irritating, especially if something has already gone wrong earlier in the run.
Yeah, and you can get it with... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, absolutely, go for it.
I'm just gonna say, you know what? I actually forgot about this. So, never mind, it must not have been that important.
Dust in the wind.
I was just gonna echo chat as well as I looked it up. Codename's Kid Next Door is only available right now on Amazon, Apple TV, and at home. Everyone be cool about that. And some are saying on Max as well. And then Fondue and a bunch of other sites that I've never looked at.
I love that post.
I guess it makes sense.
But anyway, now we have the laser weapon, which... Hello, who's just joined the channel?
Scoob has it for you.
You heard it here first, folks. Go sign up for Poob. Anyway, so what we're going to be seeing here is the laser weapon. It one-hits basically all of these enemies on contact, and basically by, like, mashing on the lock-on button and the left stick, like we're going insane with it, we can rapidly lock onto and then like a bunch of different enemies and kill a bunch of them with one use of the super projectile, which is useful.
So long that like you just spam the aim here button and it just goes insano mode.
Which is very useful because with the amount of like trash mobs that this level spawns, it is very easy to, like with Spank Happy, the number 4 level, it is very easy to hit the enemy cap, and this spot right here where these 5 guys spawn that opens like a gate, I had a marathon run of this once where I did this level 3 times in a row, and all 3 times only one enemy spawned there, and I just soft-locked the whole level. I ended up... This was at like 3 in the morning for me, by the way. I was losing my mind, and I ended up basically just saying, fine, I will add the time onto my running timer as if this were a horrible run of the level, and we're going to skip it, and I will never talk about it again.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one good thing, I guess we can mention this now, about the version differences, is that for some reason on GameCube, the soft lock that Steb just talked about doesn't happen as frequently, or like the danger of it happening isn't as prevalent. I have gotten soft locked in this level before, though, on one of the upgrade parts that I get there in the beginning, and I backflip out of a corner. The enemy spawn is there, and like 4 of those hand dudes come out of the ground, and during my backflips, like, some reason it skipped over that enemy cutscene, or the enemy spawn trigger, because just like cutscenes, every like trigger in this game is just very weird. Like, the GameCube version we think was some version 1.0, and then everything PS2 and Xbox afterwards has been like 1.1 or something like that.
It is bizarre.
Yeah, I don't think pause jumps are possible on the other platforms. I think that's why I
don't think so, no. The other thing is, I don't know if this is mostly a Dolphin thing, but I used to run this game a lot on PS2, and I played it on original hardware, and on original hardware, especially because I was playing on like a fat PS2, you spent... Part of the reason I originally started timing this game with in-game time, as opposed to real time, is because on PS2, you spend the best years of your life waiting for levels to load.
I remember that, yeah, because I was in the same boat. I had this game for PS2 on my fat PS2, and I was relieved when I learned that it was in-game time, because that was like my #1 concern, was my hardware wasn't going to be up to par. But it's all good.
Yeah. Yeah, basically right here we're just going to be doing going through a lot of waves of enemies. The gimmick of this level is essentially that these enemies are vampires, of course, so they're immune to things when they're hiding in the dark. So you have to turn on like either like front lawn bug zappers, or in this case like floodlights, to put them in the light and do damage to them. But your super projectile is so powerful that it just ignores that entirely. So by using the lock-on spam, then we are able to basically bypass this entire mechanic, but we are going to need to have a lot of super energy stored up for the boss fight against Count Spankulot at the end of this level. Yes, that is the bad guy's name. And so we are going to be luring the smaller enemies over to the light and killing them in the intended manner, basically wherever possible.
Yeah, and then those big guys, they take like 4 shots, but they start running away when they're 2-shot, so makes for a very annoying time. You kind of have to budget the super attack as well as you can. There are pickups in every arena, as you've seen. I've been picking them up here and there. But you want to make sure you have a minimum 2 super attacks left when you go into this next area, and a full meter like I have now. I have 8. So I have 6 to 5 shots to play with right here. Talking about it, I did it. I didn't even mean to do that, but I did it.
Yeah, you can see that, because, like, the smaller enemies, they take knockback when you shoot them, but the bigger enemies don't. So if you get them in the light, you start shooting at them, there is no guarantee on Earth that they will still be in the light long enough for you to kill them. Whereas the smaller enemies that take 2 shots, they're going to be like, ooh, ouch, you got me, and then that's enough time for you to get the second shot in.
I also think if you do super attacks on the bigger enemies in the light, they take more damage, because I've noticed, like, when I'm spamming the lock-on there, it takes significantly less lock-on time for them to die, so that might be...
Possibly, I'm not too sure.
Could be placebo.
Yeah, a lot of time when you don't have access to like hard data or like community research efforts for games like this, there are a lot of things that basically come down to superstition.
Yeah, like the moon
like
bounce
like
strategy. That might not even save time.
Oh, I'm sure it does. Because, like, you have to go all the way up to the top, you have to hit the switch, then it plays the cutscene of the... Oh, you mean in the tunnel specifically. Obviously, this game saves time.
So you can actually jump again when you first reach out of bounds in Donutty. I'm sorry, we're talking about previous levels right now when we're at the boss fight. But just really quick, you can jump up and hit that checkpoint right there when you go through the out of bounds, catch the checkpoint, and actually get rid of the moon bounce before you go into the tunnels and just have, like, normal jumps.
And for all we know, being able to like strafe jump could just be faster than Moon bouncing over the slowing surface. Basically, we're discussing this to try and fill time, because this boss fight is basically just see where he spawns, hit the super projectile, he'll despawn, then he'll spawn back in, rinse and repeat until he falls over.
Yeah, nothing super fun. He can kind of eat one of the super attacks I've been noticing over the past couple of days if you fire at the wrong time. But
yeah, his entrance during his entrance animation, he has iframes. The only thing to really keep in mind is he has one attack that he only does at like mid-range, where he jumps high enough that the start of your projectile will actually miss.
Yep. Yeah.
So you have to watch out for that, and sometimes if he spawns directly on top of you, then you lock onto him and he will like move around you and the game gets very confused. This is another shmup level that we are just not doing, and now we're going into... And now we're going into Ship Shape, which is... We are going to be skipping this entire level. I don't have a funny name for this, I'm afraid. But this is one of the more difficult tricks in the run. We're going to be doing some very precise pause jumps to get out of bounds, and then once we get out of bounds, we will be able to hit a checkpoint at the very end of the level.
Got it.
You're insane with it!
Okay, so do you want to set up the glitch before I get there?
Basically, I don't remember exactly where the point of the level where it is, but we're going to be looking for a specific part of the environment that we will see inbounds, and then we're going to do a jump attack off to the side, and if we trigger a checkpoint...
Wow. I can't believe I missed the checkpoint.
You can get close to the checkpoint right outside the boss room. Oh! Redemption! Redemption! Redemption!
Got it back, yep. Okay, so it won't be that bad. If the glitch actually happens in the boss room, then this run could still be, like, you know, on par, but...
We could still be going somewhere.
I won't say it out loud until we're deeper.
Why can't people just share their candy? Number 5 will never know.
That's good.
Yes! Yeah, so what we just did there was we jumped all the way down into the boss room, basically. We hit the checkpoint for right outside the boss room. And now we have probably the hardest cutscene trigger skip for the whole run. For some reason, the trigger area is like the entire front half of the boss room. And now we're going to start breaking these treasure chests open, because the way this boss fight works is there's a specific piece of candy that you have to find. There it is. And now when we trigger it at the very start of the fight, he's going to jump for it, and that's what makes him vulnerable.
Didn't do it.
Ah.
So you're about to see the boss fight as intended, unfortunately. Wait,
Yeah,
okay, never mind.
If all goes to plan, then what happens is he starts the fight outside of the center position, and will be acting as if he's in the center, even though his invulnerability has been disabled, and you can just skip the entire fight. But instead, we're going to have to do it normally by continually breaking chests to... Oh! Great RNG.
Insane RNG when I've had to do this normally. Doing a lot of no resets, just trying to prep for the marathon setting, and like... When I've had to just sit through this, I don't know. I got like a sixth sense to where this thing is. But I guess I said that, and it's not. I'm gonna have to go all the way around here. I know it.
In an intended environment, this is one of the harder. This is one of the more sore points of the whole level, because there's like 13 chests that spawn every single time, and you never know where the thing is. It could be it could be right next to you when it spawns in. It could be and you won't know until you've done a full circuit.
Ouch.
Oof.
Oh, hey.
By the way, if you have no idea what on earth is going on or what connects any of these levels, don't worry. Basically, the setup of this game is just... you're just doing the greatest hits and hitting through all of the, like, main Kids Next Door villains, and then at the end they all get fused together and you have a big schmoz final boss fight. We're playing the hits here.
Yeah, it's pretty much just like, oh, all the villains decided today is the day that we mess with the kids next door, and we're defeating them all. We're gonna get them all on a bus at the end of the level, at the end of the game, and we are going to ship them to the moon, like literally.
Yeah, you're sending them to like the Kids Next Door lunar prison moon base colony that exists.
And that's Night Race, the next villain.
He's an evil dentist. That's his thing.
The plot of this level is that he is capturing fireflies, grinding up their butts, and it's like a toothpaste to let parents know, like it rats the kids out, being like, yeah, they brushed their teeth, because look, they're glowy.
And basically, we've just did the first of 2 out-of-bounds tricks to skip the majority of the level.
And 5. Look this way. I don't count for this, I kind of just go off vibes, to be honest with you. That's a good setup, though. Meow. I've been developing this movement over the past couple of days so that you can just kind of slot yourself right into that, well, what did I just put myself right between the bug zapper and the fence,
Yeah,
right?
it does look pretty slick, and it lets you can only the way you progress through this level is you have to carry fireflies. You have to carry like 8 fireflies total to each door, so that you can like make it open. I don't know exactly how that works, but video game logic. And you have to, and you can only carry 4 at a time, so you have to make 2 trips. So what we're able to do there is carry the 4 fireflies we picked up at the very start of the level all the way through into a different section, just to save a bit of time. And here we're going to do more pause jumps to once again get over these tall fences.
That's a hard pause jump that I just hit. That one you need to get maximum height on, and basically just push the jump button like immediately after the pause menu lowers. Like, that was really good to get that first try. And more pause jumps. Excellent.
I used to play this whole level as intended. What a schmuck I was.
I don't want to speak too soon, but if everything goes well, this may set an IL record right now, and I'm not blowing smoke.
This is looking like a very clean brush off.
I've been grinding brush off specifically for some reason. I needed to kill time on stream the other day, so I was like, yeah, let's load up some ILs and practice the latter half of the game, and it's been paying off.
It is kind of, at least back when I used to run, it's a level I often just sort of forgot existed, because there wasn't really anything to do there, but now there is, so it's cool to see, like, the evolved form of what all of these strats can actually be utilized to accomplish in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing.
This part of the level is kind of just meh. We're gonna be you see all those fireflies flying everywhere. I'm gonna be just sailing using the glide technique, and this is actually gonna be the last of number 3 that we see for the game.
We've already seen the last of number 5. We are in like the back couple of levels.
Yeah, we're not too far from the end here, to be honest.
There's 2 more levels and then the final boss.
Yep. And thankfully, I grabbed that 5th one. I almost didn't there.
Yeah, in this level, I think in this specific segment of the level, I think you can carry 8 fireflies at a time, and you have to put 8 in each part of the clock tower, and then that's what ends the level.
You're welcome, fireflies. Just a few more of your friends to rescue, and I'll be done.
Apologies for the quiet here, but this is despite the number of advancements that have been made in this run since my tenure at the top, we still don't really have anything to do here. You get them.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I did want to mention that since we have a little downtime. Like I said, I started learning this game by watching Steb through another marathon, so it's a little inception-y of me to be like having her commentate my run right now, since this is my first marathon that I'm involved in any capacity, and it's almost like. Go on, sorry.
It's like the world's shittest Mr. Miyagi. By the way, I never noticed this before. Can we talk about how the graphic for the amount of fireflies goes off the edge of the board there?
I know. I don't know why they never
that
finished
somehow.
That. I think that's another product of the GameCube version. Maybe it might not be that way in PS2. It's been way too long since I played it. That went really well.
I think also just by the time I got to this point in a run on PS2, I was like an hour and 30 in, and I was just like, half of my brain wasn't active anymore, and I was just like, finish it, please.
Hey, guess what? That was an IL. That was the fastest that
Let's
ever been done.
Go.
Yeah,
Let's
by 1
go.
second. 1 second. Cutscene skip. Didn't hit it. Oh, I hate that thing.
This cutscene skip is the white whale, I swear.
I think if everything goes well, I'm just gonna shut up. I don't want to say anything. Just know that this is a very good run. There we go. We spam.
We're seeing more of those like laser spams.
Yeah.
And now.
Go on. Sorry. This door.
Now the first like half of this level is supposed to be you have to go through these 4 like platforming obstacle courses to get 4 passwords to the big door that leads to the back half of the level. But instead, what we're going to be doing is kids next door, computer, cave obstruction mandating passwords utterly tarnished, enabling rapidness. Which basically means we're just going to walk through the door.
This door,
I'll never get through here until
like,
I find those computer codes.
We were saying it the other night when we were talking on Discord. It's insane that they go through 4 levels of security where you have to go down all 4 of those hallways that I was shooting at in that rotary right there. And did you see how easy I just slipped through that door? You might as well call that the butter skip. It's so smooth.
They didn't account for number 1 being able to phase through solid matter. I don't know what to tell you. Rookie mistake.
Okay, and just to be safe, I'm not gonna do the jump. There's you can jump around this pillar right here and make it to the one that's down, but
it is a very slick jump, but if you miss it, you look like a goober. Yep. Is the unfortunate reality.
And it saves like 2 seconds and loses like, I don't know, 15 to 20 if you miss, and die.
Very low reward, very high risk.
IL only. IL only. Pardon
Pretty
me.
much, yeah. And now we're going to be coming up to the other big, like, marquee attraction of this level, is there's supposed to be a section where you overload, like, a security door by piloting, like, a procession of the enemies that you fight against in this level, and, like, getting them stuck in, like, an electricity field that overloads the door. But, I mean, you'll see what we do instead of that. Normally it's like you basically have to play Pac-Man, but you'll see what we do instead.
Right there, cutscene skip. I know you can't really tell because I'm just walking through a section in a funny direction, but just know that we skipped 2 cutscenes there.
With a very precise lineup.
Oh!
Loaded with it! What? I don't know what else to say. Built different.
That trick is so precise.
Normally you have to play like 4 rounds of very slow Pac-Man, but instead you just walk. You just jump.
For some reason, I know we kind of skipped over it, but in that number 4 level where we kind of shoved our toe into the corner of the wall, the way that we got on top, that damage boost, that's like the only damage boost in the entire run. It's very unique. And that trick right there is sort of in the same vicinity where, like, you do a side jump off of a cliff, and the game is like, oh, well, you've fallen far enough. Surely you should be on the ground. So they just give you another jump if you fall far enough.
The game just assumes there's no way this idiot would have just deliberately strafe jumped into a death pit.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
Exactly.
They're obviously back on the floor. Let him jump again.
So hopefully we can get a perfect boss fight and get this level really quickly. You can actually skip phase 2 and you'll know if I did it or not if he comes out swinging with this toothpaste shot right here. He'll do this to begin a phase if I phase.
Yeah, you can tell once he hits a certain threshold, instead of doing his normal like attack recovery, he will just be like lock in and he will stop being vulnerable. The hitboxes are a little it's janky because with this attack the hitboxes can get a little unpredictable. He has sort of like a wide cone. It's like a TF2 spy backstab, except it works to ruin you more often than not. And I don't believe we got it. You got it?
Yep.
Damn, nice. I think I'm just used to a more. I'm used to a more pronounced version of it because I know back when I ran this, the routing had you pick up the upgraded weapon here, which did a lot more damage, and there we go. That was a very good night race.
That was really good. I'm really glad I got the perfect in the marathon.
Hell yes. You have to just sit through the death animation. He's gonna get clonked on the head.
Is that what happens? I always just figure he, like, powers off or something.
I think it's like, yeah, the machine powers off, and then he's like, wait, I'm fine, and then the, like, dentist light falls down and bashes him on the head. Anyway, remember the guy from the tutorial? He's back!
Yeah, this is actually
he did it again!
uncle canonically in the show, if nobody knew that.
Yeah, his uncle is, like, the jobber villain who shows up just to get owned. He's the toilet nader, he's the toilet-themed supervillain. And canonically, he's a dork that none of the other supervillains like. I don't remember which episode it is. There's an episode that starts with like the supervillains are all having a barbecue, and when he turns up, they're all like, oh, "Who the hell invited this guy?"
Apparently, his breath smells like sewage canonically as well. Oh no! Don't sit there and just pump stuff at me, please. Oh yes, okay, good. We're through.
God. Basically, by doing a jump attack, you can see we're spamming jump attacks, basically dive kicks with number 4 because it's his fastest way of movement, and also because we'll
get it. We'll get it. Hang on.
See the vision. Trust the process.
No.
Trust the process.
Okay, so this is the danger of this level. So if you get too close to these toilet paper doors, for some reason, it, like, detects you on the other side of it, and then it just despawns the one in your current room, so then you actually have to do it the intended way, go get the crate, and throw it over there. So, we just lost a little bit of time, and unfortunately, that also means we lost world record right there, too. We are 3 seconds off of my sum of best right now, and this is the second to last level. We're almost done. I just got hit. Yeah, whatever. There we go. Pause jump.
Strats, there we go.
I think
You'll
that's the
love to
last
see
pause
it.
jump of the run.
I believe so.
And then this might be the last cutscene. No, not the last cutscene. Oh!
Oh!
I practiced that one, man! Come on!
It's okay, now the marathon crowd gets to be introduced to the turd homunculi that exist in this level for some reason.
Yeah, they are really ugly.
These guys aren't in the show, by the way. They had to come up with this off the dome over at High Voltage Software.
So,
they were like, well, he's a toilet villain, what else is he gonna use? Obviously, we have to bring out the poo homunculus.
Yeah, dude. I love this skip right here, so we're just gonna hold straight. Oh, hello, what are you doing going up there? Thank you.
Hey, let's go. Yeah.
That was crazy. Yeah, so typically those guys aren't around when you're trying to do that glitch, because that right there is, like, maybe the first cutscene skip I haven't hit in this run? I can't remember, but...
Yeah, I think you've hit, and there you see how dramatic a difference that those cutscene skips actually make, because when you skip them, it just looks like nothing happened, but when you don't skip them, you can clearly see it's the game going, "Whoa, get a load of all of this in the room."
Yeah, so it completely changes the dynamic in half of the levels if you actually do hit it.
Saves so much time, every single one you hit. There's gonna be another one up here to avoid the game trying to explain this boss fight in quotation marks.
Boss race.
Yeah, you have to. There's a fancy toilet at the top of the level, and you have to get there before the toilet nader does, because I don't want to know what he intends to do with it.
Yeah, it's a very pretty porcelain, you know.
It's like bronze or something.
Bronze kneecap confirmed. I just want to say,
Actually,
that just dawned on me. I just want to say the only reason that I knew that this event was happening this year was because of a ping in the Fairly Odd Parents speedrunning Discord. So shout out to that guy, by the way. And we're about to skip the last shmup level and get into the final boss fight of the entire run and be done.
This is what made running this game in the past such a headache, was because you would be on good pace, you'd get to the very end of the run, and then there's 15 minutes of, especially in a marathon, there's 15 minutes of, Sonny, I watch any good.
Yeah, I mean, that's a 16-minute shmup level that we just backed out of. So, here we
16 minutes of sitting there going, and now I've got to repress the square button, because if you hold the button down, then it doesn't continually fire, but it does if you hold it a little bit.
Yeah, so just so anybody knows that's like interested in running this, there is an any % category that includes the shmup levels, but what Steb just said is probably the worst part of the whole thing. You have to re-hold the fire button every 3 seconds, every time you repress it, to keep the shooting going.
So you can't just zone out, you have to be actively making inputs the entire time.
Yep.
It's aggravating, it's agonizing.
Like here,
So
I'll
here,
give it
what-
credit, right? Because I'm not like continuously shooting, it's like a single fire gun, but like the shmup levels, it's Galaga. Like we're playing Galaga, we should just be able to hold it down. I don't know why they programmed
So anyway,
it like that.
this is a mecha battle. This is the final boss of the game. All of the villains have fused into one big thing, and we're basically just keeping them at range so they don't use any of it. In particular, they have Night Brace's like fluoride beam, which is basically hit scan, and is really annoying if you get him at the range where he will use it. So we're just sort of keeping him in a range where he won't. He's gotten stuck on the lip of this crater, and we're just going to be spamming him with attacks and super attacks, which gradually fill up over time. We don't have to keep on top of that resource. And when it gets to about halfway through the meter, we have to go into a melee phase, which thankfully we can stunlock. If not entirely as effectively, still pretty darn effectively. to do some melee attacks, and once he takes too much damage, he runs away, and there we go. And we can throw some supers in there if we really wanted. There we go.
Double hit that. That was good. The hitboxes are really wonky on this guy too, so the super attacks you can get twice the damage off.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as the two melee, the regular melee characters. And basically, yeah, in the time it takes him to turn around and ready an attack, we've already done enough damage to put him into a stun animation and make him run away. Oh, did the super attack slightly too early, so it just barely gave him time to go into an attack. But that's okay, we just restore the cycle, trust the process, see the vision, lock in, get it twisted. There we go. Back on routine. Oh, perhaps slightly too many attacks?
Yep, I had one extra melee attack at the end there. Alright, super attack when they land right here.
Yep.
Excellent, we get extra melee off. I'm gonna move back left this way so that hopefully I can make them jump. Yes, not in the crater.
You actually can, like, instantly guarantee a stun by doing a jump attack, but I think doing it this way means you get more damage in on the whole, and there we go, that's time.
Yep, time. 49:20 in-game time. We're about 1 minute and 10 seconds off of the world record there. That was a wonderful run. That was excellent.
That was very, very good, and such a breeze compared to when I used to run this game. Getting a time under 2 hours was like, damn, that was brisk.
Yeah. So
GG.
Underestimate. I'm really happy with that. I hope you guys enjoyed.
I'm so happy with what this run has become.
So where can people find you?
I'm ScoobysBooty on Twitch. I upload the runs and IL runs to YouTube. I try to do variety here and there, but it's mostly speed running. I try to keep my Twitch to just this and other games that I've been running. Steb, what about you?
I'm gonna let Scooby honestly take everything on this one. I'm barely in speedrunning these days, and the things I do now I doubt will be of a whole lot of interest to any of the crowd here. There's not a lot of demographic overlap.
I appreciate it very much. Thank you for commentating. Like I said, this run was a good showcase of like a second generation of tricks. Shout out, oh my god, Toxic Pinhead. That man broke this game wide open and made the any percent down from like 140 to like 120. It's sub 120 is possible. It hasn't been done yet.
The silent partner who like revolutionized this game. A lot when I came back and started seeing what people were done with this game, a lot of this stuff was already in place, and I was like, whoa.
This man he has a way with glitch hunting. There may have been other games already run or to come in this marathon that Toxic had a hand in breaking wide open. He's that prolific of a glitch hunter, so shout out to him.
What a legend, honestly.
I think that's it from me. I think I'm good.
All right, thank you so much. Hang tight, everybody, as we are getting ready to prepare for Monsters, Inc. by Zacharias 455. Hold tight.